Hello, friends. Just your friendly neighborhood Data here, and today I'd like to continue talking about this year's 2022 Midwest Preparedness Project Fall Festival. Now, I've been a part of this thing for over a decade, and again, let me tell you guys, this one was absolutely one of our best ones yet. Now, one of our featured teachers this year was my new friend Tamara Lasley of Knittable, and wow, what a wealth of knowledge and incredible patience to teach others she has. So, Tamara gave a class on the Introduction to Spinning, where she covered wool carding, hand spinning materials, and using a double and a single pedal spinning wheel to create these spools of yarn. So my favorite part of the class was how easily she made it seem, and how many men actually participated, as well as how soothing it was watching the spinning wheel spool the yarn. So check it out.
Are holding a spindle that is not yours, it does need to come back at the end of the class. They're not giveaways.
You can keep them for the rest of the weekend if you want to be embracing it and grab some wool. But then I need them back at the end of the weekend because they're my student spindles. Okay?
All right, real quick before she starts, I just want to give a quick shout out. The last class, the radio that was given away was provided by Ken. He's running around here in a OD green, I think Under Armour shirt. So be sure to give him a high five and a thanks for contributing to the cause.
Can I change my mind about tickets? Can we get them all, like, for my pricey thing?
However, you can do it however you want to do it.
All right.
It's your world, the rest of us just pay rent.
Right? Right. Okay. You got about 10 minutes of me talking and then we're going to get handsy on. I've been doing this a long time, probably like 38 years. I've gone through and still have many spinning wheels. This is the way I learned, was on a spindle, and so that's the way we're going to learn here because it's portable and it's easy to go with you. Spinning is simply, at its basic, is just twisting fibers so they hold together to make yarn, to make rope, whatever you choose to do with, make lace. And just depending on, and we'll get into what we call drafting, but just how much yarn or fiber you pull out to spin is going to determine how thick your yarn's going to be. Okay? So yarn prep, I don't have time to go into because we just have an hour. However, they put reloading afterwards, so if anybody wants to stick around afterwards, like, I'm game. And you can use carders. These are carders. These are one way to prep your wool. This is what we were playing with yesterday of brushing. It makes a very fluffy, we call them roll eggs, kind of like this. And you guys can play with some of these. Give y'all some. We can do little baby carders. I do these for my kids students. We can use a single that we're just going to fluff out ends with, and they're just going to, if you just brush one end, here's my leg. And then you can spin right off of these. This is going to remove any short fibers and ideally any little bits of vegetation left, and then you can spin directly off this. This will give you more of a worsted, which is your fibers are more aligned. Your row legs, they're more spinny. It's more lofty, more ideal for sweaters. I say a lot. I'm catching myself.
Wait a minute, which one's better for sweaters? This one?
The woolen. Well, and it just depends
The
how thick. Technically, your woolen sweaters are a thicker, heavier. If you want something much more fine, then I would almost go with a combed fiber. You're still going to have a lot of bounce in it, but not as much because it's wool, and wool has an elasticity to it. Different fibers don't, and I brought a lot of different fibers that at some point you guys can come up and it's very touchy-feely. Like, I get myself in trouble behind people's backs and trying to touch what their sweater's made out of. So just kind of what I've got here. Chris brought some yak. He raises yak, and so he brought some yak fiber, which is in the brown plastic bag. Or, no, it's not, it's black. And you can just feel it. It's very soft. It's a shorter fiber. It kind of reminds me of cotton. It also reminds me of alpaca that doesn't have a whole lot of elasticity to it. So it's often nice to blend it with something else to give it that bounce loft and holds together nicer. This is a Jacob fleece. It's black and white. It's clean, so we can play with that one. This is a BFL sheet, and this is not washed, so you can play with that and feel the difference of what it's like. But it's a clean, dirty fleece. If you there's not a whole lot of vegetation matter like grass and all that in it, so it's really nice and easy. You can just kind of flick your ends and play and spin with it. These I made up into packages, so you guys are all going to get, ideally if I've less than 40, one of each of them. That basket there has silk. You're welcome to come open it up, play. This is one way to prep silk. These are just taking your silk cocoons and stretching it over a board. And then there's all sorts. There's from raw silk to dyed silk to clean silk. But those are all touchy-feely stuff. Come on up, give it a try. If you feel like pulling off some and try spinning it after you've played with wool, have at it, okay? Different spindles, different size, depending on the weight of yarn that you want to make. Of course, the thinner and lacier your yarn's going to be, the smaller, lighter the spindle you're going to want to play with. And then I brought 2 wheels. My baby, so if you're going to play with it, I have to watch you. But my other one, that's the first spinning wheel I ever had. Anybody want to come up and try to play with it after they've played with their spindles? And they kind of have a feel for drafting, and that's us pulling these fibers apart. Doing this to it is drafting our yarn out, and then your spindle's going to spin it all up. So if you feel like you have a good handle on doing that with the spindle, you can come on up and play with the wheel, and I'll get you set up, and I've got a chair up there. So that is where we're at. So I'm going to start this at one end, take a couple of these and pass them on.
What do you call this?
You've got your own.
Yeah, I've got mine.
This is just wool. This is Jacob wool that I've carted all up into roll
Pretty
logs.
cool.
It's a roll log.
A roll log?
A roll log.
Roll log?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
R-O-L-L-E-G. Roll log. Yep, take a few of those and we're going to play with them. Take one of each of these, pass them on. Yep. Okay.
Am I supposed to spin that in?
Yes.
I don't know if you want
34 plus my extra 5. Thank you for the that I would share. Thank you. There you go.
He said thank you for the chair.
He's got 2 chairs. You don't have one.
Well, I wouldn't know what to
If
do.
you don't, well, not yet. No, there's anybody else.
You're going to be a spinner before it's all over with, Charles.
I don't even have the
I'll
whole
go ahead and carry
here
the basket
for
if you
it.
want.
I
Take
can
2,
put one
she
in
said.
for you.
I can film it.
You can film it.
I'll take pictures so that way we know what happened.
Some moisture in this.
Probably.
Being out here in the sun.
I also have buffalo
Oh, mine has
and camel.
Whoa.
Camelback.
Unless you get smelly yarn, that actually they put smell in the yarn.
One of each of these?
Sure. Get in there, lady.
Smell in the yarn.
I want you, buddy.
Yeah, it is because I had them in the sun.
You said do
You
it.
guys are welcome.
Yes.
So this is not this has been like dipped or something?
No, it's been
Pat,
carved.
you wanna
It's
give it a
wet
whirl?
because I had them in the sun in the bag,
Literally?
but it's not going to
It
hurt
doesn't.
this.
So
I haven't washed it
this
yet.
hasn't been so you wash it.
Good man.
You take it off the animal and you wash it, and that's what takes the lanolin off.
Wait, what?
Kevin, did you get some of this?
Sometimes, though, I will just dip them in a
You wanna
cold
try it?
water bath, which is going to take the dirt
So
off
this
of
is
it, but
the-
it's going to leave the lanolin.
Okay.
Nice. It's going to make your hands lovely.
So how do they get to the lanolin? Because I know they put lanolin, so how does that get collected? How do
You like boil it, don't you?
Oh, how do they collect lanolin?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah,
So
it gets
it'll
boiled out.
float-
I've never done it.
float like a wax?
Once I've done it in hot water, I kind of put my hand on top of it and rub them together.
Yeah, I bet that's awesome.
There you go. And you don't want to use that pan then to cook anything.
So in with this too, there's a lot of different spindles out there. these are just, I call it a drop spindle. There are also supported spindles where you are going to have a bowl and it spins in, and I can show that later. I've got cotton going. I played with his yak with that. These are Russian ones, maybe Turkish. Those are Turkish spindles. These are Russian ones. They are supported spindles as well. They can be made from anything, from my CDs, which are really good and easy if you want to get them together and spin off of those. Where's my one? Somewhere. Oh, here. This is one of my spindles, CD spindles. And that takes all of a plumbing washer, a dowel, and a CD. And you put them together and it spins amazing.
Ready?
There you go. All right. Fiber. Let's start with this stuff because it's already easily fluffed out. And easy to spin. So we have a spindle, we've got a hook on the end, and there's nothing for us to attach it to. So we are going to hook our fiber, but before we do this, and then we're going to spin. You need to decide, and there is no right or wrong answer. When we ply it back, meaning we're going to put two together and they're going to go the opposite direction, I go counterclockwise to ply. But it doesn't matter which one you start with. Just whichever way you start with, you have to continue or you're going to untwist your yarn and your spindle's going to drop down on the ground. If you get too consumed with drafting out your fiber and you don't pay attention to your spindle and it starts going the other way, it's going to break apart and unspin and it's going to fall down. Hence a drop spindle, right? But the goal is not to drop it. So I'm just going to show you what I'm going to do here. I'm just going to put a little bit of fiber in there, and I'm just going to by hand kind of spin it just long enough to get it 6 inches. And then I'm going to roll it on my leg, stop it, and we're going to park it in our legs. We're going to get just enough to spin this much, and we're going to park it in our legs.
How did you get it so thin?
You just did that. Like
Because
that was
I've been doing it 38 years. These are going to be the best, bulkiest yarns. So drafting.
cool, right?
Drafting is drawing out this fiber as thin or as thick. If you want me to go thicker, you guys aren't going to be doing this part just yet. But I can go thicker by just pulling out more. I can make it that thick.
Okay. Oh, I just didn't spin enough.
You know, it's just a matter of how thick of fiber you want to put together.
You're
You know,
going clock.
When you're done, it'll come back on itself and you're going to have this dropping your leg. What?
Then what? Look at him go.
Then we're going to park it.
I'll just sweat it before
You have too
sundown.
much on your
Hang on.
plate. She does the opposite of what she said.
So I'm going to put it here. I'm going to make sure there's lots and lots of extra twist in this. I am going to park it between my legs, and now we're going to work on drafting. You're going to pull it out a little bit. I'm overspun. And I'm going to let from this finger run it up. If I pinch here, none of that twist is going to go up into this.
Like this across from each other.
So I'm going to now trade fingers, draw it out as thin or as thick as I want it to be, and then I'm going to let that twist run up in there again. Okay? Once your arm's kind of comfortably out here, then we're going to stop, or you run out of twist.
So make it that long.
I don't know what.
Roundabout. Enough that when we're done, we're going to find that little line there. We're going to hook it in there, and then we're going to wrap it onto our spindle. And if you get too thin, it comes apart. So what happens if it comes apart and because we did it too thin? What are we going to do? Oh no.
Oh no.
Oh no. We are going to take this piece and the piece that's in, you want to make sure it's a loose piece. We're going to overlap them and we're going to hold them together. And we're going to stretch it a little bit and let that twist run back up it. And off we go again.
So they just naturally latch onto each other.
Yeah, and I'm letting it drop. It will. I got to quit doing that.
I'm all, no, this shambles.
You started so well.
I know.
Yeah, now once you're long enough,
Okay.
you're going to bring it through that line. Now let me see how far you are twist-wise.
This bad boy?
Yep, keep your finger there.
All right,
Let me
it's
see how twisted you are.
pretty twisted.
Okay, so now park it between your legs.
Wait.
Parked.
This left hand's gonna
Yes.
go here.
Curly kid.
Oh, my right hand.
We don't want, right, it's my bad.
No, you're good.
Because we don't want the twist to go up here. Other hand, you're gonna draw this out.
Okay. Just pull on it.
Thank you.
Place enough that you're now going to be able to, not taking it off,
Okay.
come down here,
Yep.
roll it onto your thing.
All right.
Leave yourself about a 6-inch place.
That's what mine's doing too.
This is ring around where you do this.
Yeah.
Got it.
So do I need to start over because it's
No.
row?
You nerds still trying to figure it out?
No, I just put it back in. I kind of get this part stuff like
Oh, yeah.
and then when you draft it,
So then what?
Kind of like crocheting.
Good
if you
question.
put it on your leg,
Then
you're going
what?
to get a
Big
lot of
question.
twist there. Now we're going to
It's
stop.
a big game. You guys will get feel real
Right hand or the left, right.
Oh, I'm with you there. I mean, wherever that is.
Pull stop with this one, okay? Now,
I basically have a sweater done.
Okay.
now with this hand, you're going to drop these out. But you want to, I'm going to steal some of your fiber.
I know
If
it.
you look at your Rolex, and if everybody wants to, just take a piece and pull them apart, you're going to see about how long these fibers are. So if you're too close to pulling this out, you're grabbing the beginning and end of the fiber, and you're not going to be able to draw it out. So you need to be at least a couple of inches from each other to be able to draw it back out. Perfect.
Nice.
Yeah, no, you're good.
You have to be further back so that the ends of the first hairs can slip.
That's what I'm going to find it.
So it wouldn't.
Yep.
We're
So I
both
just
stuck
had the
over here,
whole
so now that
thing
we're ready to go back to spinning, yeah,
twisting on my
we're locked in here.
isn't it?
We are going to,
Oh, okay.
Nope, it's twisting.
you're just going to leave yourself
Twisting here.
some space. Now you're set. So, and then you're going to wrap it around there.
I get it. Okay.
Okay?
You
Yeah.
gotta make it real thin.
Roll it up your
Now Janice has got it. Looky there.
I got something going here.
As long as you're going the same way.
She just like a loop it this way. Just like, however, just like
Be a full
do a full circle
Okay, then
around the loop.
bring it down through here.
Yeah, and then loop her. There you go. There you go.
But you still
I
have
think
a
it's
little
because
bit
it's spinning the
Bring
other
it
way.
up to your line. Spin it around.
You need to hook it the other way. There you go.
Then you should twist it the wrong way.
Yes.
Well,
just whatever way you go. And then when you're finished, you're going to bring it up here, wrap it around that hook, and you're going to spin it, and then hold your pinch,
You want to get in here?
spin it between there and there, park it,
Like
and then
this?
draft out. Okay, you're
So I
good.
wasn't
Bad day,
drafting
just
it
fabric.
right. Now I think I've got it, but I don't know how to
Keep
get
your
it.
pinch.
Okay, spin it around.
Here?
Spindles. I think
Yeah,
there's
and
an
you're
extra
almost ready that you can.
Clockwise. I say I was too far. I was too close, and so I had too much there.
All right, now I would wind that on.
I was gonna say, how
But
tight
make
do I
sure
need
when
to
you, when you're there, it doesn't matter. Bring it forward for a minute.
Okay.
When you're done
I have some.
and we ply it together, that's what this yarn's going to look
Then I
like.
gotta take this piece.
So it doesn't matter how thick or thin or how tight or loose you make
Because
it.
it'll
Yeah.
eventually
If it's too
normalize
loose, it's going to fall apart. If it's too tight, it's going to curl back on itself. And as long as you continue that way, when you ply it back, it's just going to be a harder feeling yarn. I would wind that on now.
Okay.
Beautiful.
How do I do that? Over here?
Make sure the
Like
hook's
this?
there. Yep. And wind it on. All right, who else is needing help here for a minute? Yep,
Not
you got
me.
it. Okay,
He's gonna show
you
us
got me that
all.
far, now I'm like,
Yeah,
okay, we need to leave some out so
I
that
haven't
we
needed
can
help in years.
have a beginning to twist back on it. Are you sure? So here, and we're just
He's a
gonna
man.
wrap
Of course he's
it
sure.
to the
Two
back
of
of
them
that.
reminds you more.
And then
Just ask
whichever
a man,
way
he'll
you
tell
were
you.
twisting, keep your finger here.
I
We
would
don't want
have,
to
I
draw
would
it
have
up
never
there. Put
guessed
as much
that.
twist
I
on
feel
that
like
as you
Kyle
can.
reminds me more of Dad than me.
And it will be
Really?
full on.
Why?
Kyle has more
Roll
of
up your
a
leg.
more Dad's
There you
like
go. Yep. Roll
of
it
Dad's
again.
calmness.
One more time.
Yeah, you're not the
All
caller.
right, so now we've got,
Yeah.
like, if you
I
loosen
have a
this up, it's
significantly
going to
higher
curl back
temper
on
than
itself,
Dad
so that's
does.
great.
Yeah.
Park
I
it
would
between your
And
legs.
you do that for your mom.
Yeah.
Now, keeping this tight, trade hands
And
with
Dad's
your right
also
hand.
like real like ADD like
Now you're
Kyle.
going to work
Yes.
on drafting
Yeah, I don't
this.
really
Now
have
you're going to
that.
take this
No.
hand and you're just going to
No,
start
but
pulling this back a little bit,
you're
but
determined
far enough
and
that you're
you're
going to see. Remember we talked about
so
fiber length? You got to come your hands further back. There you go.
Whatever.
Because now you're getting.
Easygoing.
No, let go of this here. Don't put that one there. You always want to pinch that one. Now let go of this one. And it's all going to run up there. You might have to twist it. Okay, now you're going to roll it up your leg, get it some longer.
Poor doggy.
So once you get enough that it's twisting everything
that was
really
my
nice and
next
tight,
question.
we are going to then park it, trade fingers, draft it back out again. And when it's long enough that your arm is outstretched, then we're going to roll it on. You're getting this one really tight into this one, but you're okay. Put this here, park it.
See, it's the words. I'm not.
What did she call it?
You need to have a vocabulary class first.
Spinning?
Spinning vocabulary.
We need a spinning 101 to be worded. How to pronounce and say it right.
Right about there. Yep. All right, now, with this hand, you are going to draft it out. And I had shown that our fibers are approximately 3 inches, 2.5, 3 inches long, maybe 4. So we want to make sure if we're grabbing too close together, those fibers, you're not going to be able to pull them apart. We have to be far enough apart. Far enough apart. Sometimes I just kind of. All right, now, once you get out that far, hold it so it doesn't. Now, let go of this one.
Bring back.
Let go of that one, and all this twist is just going to run up that. Okay, if you think you have more, pinch it. Go ahead, pinch it here. Pull it, draft it out a little bit more. Okay, let go of this one. Nope, keep holding here, because we don't want that twist to run up into our fiber
Okay.
pile. Okay, now, you're going to carefully put him in here and roll it on. And it's easiest if you take it out, unpark it, and then roll it on, whichever direction is most comfortable for you to twirl.
Come back here tomorrow.
Okay, so now if I were good, this would be thin.
Join to the next. Yeah, no, let go. For a minute. We're going to take a roller, just draw it out, stretch it out, overlap them so that your twist
This is awesome.
is far enough
That's why
out.
she parks it in her legs. So she can have 2 hands.
There you go, and then that's just going to catch up into your twist.
Tamara, they need help over here and back here.
No, multiplicity yourself when you can.
What do we do? Oops, sorry. Okay, no, we're going to park it between the other direction. The other, that's tightening. There you go. But I keep my fingers on it. Let me see where we're at here. No, you're right. You did it right the first time.
That's right.
I'm looking at you.
By my count,
Just
nearly
enough
20.
to, but I don't want, hold here for a minute. What's happening, what I want you to do is that,
I was telling Alice about this. She was like, man, I would have really liked that class. Well, because she crochets, so she's like, oh, that's how they make yarn.
okay, so when I
So,
do
I'll-
this,
I'll have to show. She has to work today.
I kind of like unroll
Right,
as I go to
yeah.
grab, and then let it come up.
Yeah, well, she might come tomorrow. So you might have to show her
I
how.
let, because I get tight here, so I let it unroll so I can bring that up there
I'm not
with
sure
me,
this is.
and it allows me to draft closest to your pinched
Someone should know how to do it.
This is way more mad than when I sat down.
Way through it.
But also you have to remember, you can't pinch, you can't draw from here, because remember the length of that fiber? We have to come further back.
I'm starting to get it. Sort of. I'm running out of fiber.
You like the ones that are already coated?
Well, that's what I was saying. What you got here, Lisa?
I please, a mess. I have a knot here. I have a broken there. And I'm the slow student.
But you're a student, that's what matters.
I was a slow student on the ski slopes. They all laughed at me falling down, but I was the only one going down the mountain that didn't fall. I was okay with that.
I'm trying to get out of it.
Well, yeah, because you buy it. It's just like a treadmill.
Hey, Neil. I don't think she's that worried about it.
Yeah, well, they live outside, right?
They didn't bathe before you shaved up?
Oh, that's really soft.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
You have to card that
Chris, can I see that?
and do this
Can you
like
show me
that.
that? So tell me what you got here, sir.
That's yak fiber.
Now that we've got
Yak fiber. This is from Chris's personal yaks.
Well, must have.
Oh man, that is soft.
But you never know what it is until.
Now remember, this is different. Let it run up there. Pinch here for a minute, because that's where it stops. Bring this one back. Draft that fiber out.
That's off with just one root.
I would move this hand down to here. There you go. Let it run up. Yep. Let go of that one. Let that twist run up. Pinch here again. Let's see what we got here. No, you can try just a little bit more. Draw it out just a little bit. Move this hand down to here. Let it run up. Good. Okay. Now you can wind that on. Yep. Unhook from there. Yep. Okay. Think you got that going?
I think.
All right. I'll be back. Oh, the time is it?
Oh, you're good still. It's only 2.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay. So we're about 2 hours.
I'll go ahead and hand you
Oh, West. I'm
Prep.
gonna go feed them cake cubes.
But Tamara is going to be giving away a spinning kit here with some materials, some spindles, some awesome tools. I'm going to go around and hand you your 1 ticket. These tickets are not good for that drawing. So after this, throw it away.
Sure.
I don't understand how I do this.
little flock on the prairie.
So what, do I just leave that?
Jamie.
This little chunky?
No, it's just, you could be really fussy about it, but right now we're learning a process. And I'd rather you continue to learn the process than to go back and figure out why that happened.
When there's pieces off, do I take it and just put it in the back?
You can, like that.
Hey, I think Pat might be getting it.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Might be getting it.
No, you had to go and say something, Lisa.
So I'm
Let's
trying
see.
to put this gray and the white together. See that?
Perfect.
Pull that. Oh, man, look at there.
Well, I'm trying to make it pick up on that other.
Okay.
So now,
Yeah.
come down.
I was going to what's the difference between this fiber and the fiber we were
Thank you,
using
sir.
at first?
Fiber here.
Patty, did I give you one?
Let me talk to you guys for just a minute.
Okay.
We can do what we call pre-drafting. So that there, it's very thick. If you don't want to spin that thick, you can take some of that white fiber. Can I rip some of your fiber? You can take some of this white fiber and instead of doing the whole thing, find a piece in here, rip it apart, bring it all down, and then you're going to work with a thinner piece.
That sounds easier. Because, yeah, I keep breaking this when you're unraveling
Did it
yourself.
get long?
I
Like
just
this.
broke it off. It's a whole big skein. Like it's a whole big.
She just pulled it.
Yeah,
She found a spot in the middle with her. She just weeded it with her hands and then
No,
just.
I got that, but from the
This is
beginning.
silk.
Oh, she stretched it too.
Didn't have hair this long.
This is all silk.
But how did
This
they, yeah.
silk comes in. They'll come in bricks or they'll come in like this, and it's just really long. And then I'm just going to break off the length that I want to give you guys. Do you know what I mean? But I did that with wool instead of silk.
But to go from the carding to that,
a
how
lot.
do they get it in such a long?
My little Rolos weren't this long.
Exactly. I
That's
understand
why
what
she
you're
called
asking.
them Rolos.
I will often take my Rolegs
Oh,
and I will draft them out. And I just, what I want, and I just kind of go around and pull it as thin as I want it to go. And I'll do the whole thing.
That's pre-draft.
Pre-drafting.
Yeah, that's what I need to do.
Oh, thanks.
To draw from, I'll put it
Okay.
right here in this
Yep.
bag.
Yeah. Perfect. Thank you.
And then Bill will let you use this hat
So
to
they
draw
have
out of.
something similar with a bigger
Yeah.
row leg. Is that what you call it? I got
So
it.
it's roving.
Wow.
It's
Okay,
either
this
a
is
roving.
fun.
Then once I have this
time.
really
I called
long,
it a roll-off.
I'm going to roll it up into a nest. We call them nests. And I just roll it up real loose.
I got it like this. Go back
And
around.
then so I can find my
wrong way
beginning,
again.
I just kind of pull it
There
over.
you go.
near your pocket. There you
That's good. Now it goes spinning.
But now this is going to be really,
Nope.
really
You're not pulling tight again.
and it's that,
You
but
have
it
to pull
also
like
makes
this.
the part easier.
Trust me, I know it's painful.
I know. That's what the hurt is. I'm hurting through that.
Yep.
They definitely. Oh no! Other. Yeah.
There you go. Good job. Yeah.
Really, do you have something hooked on your hook in the first place?
Yeah, the
The
original.
original. Okay, so that's where mine came from, that little thingy. Okay, now I know.
Then we'll ply it back. I'll show you in just a minute.
Okay, then you have to knit.
Then you can do these. These are little ones. These are Louette mini combs. I have English combs that are Whomping cute. They're my weapon of choice if somebody breaks in, because my biggest tines on them are probably about that long, and there's a row of them about that wide. They go from tall down to shorter, and then you can card the same or comb it the same way as this. And this here, you're going to just lash your locks on, and this will end up giving us a roll.
I know.
We're going to bring it because it's a diz. It's called a diz. And then we're just going to comb this. I'm going to come across sideways. Always use your combs, and we're really static. So I don't have my spray bottle with me. Like water. Yeah. But always away from you.
The way you're going.
I've got a puff ball. And then we're going to come back down. And this is going to take away all your little short fibers.
Well, and you have a whole house of ties that drag halfway across the state. So that's when babies.
Ready.
It's too short to do
Wrap
this.
it around here, and then rehook.
Anyways, once
right
I've
here,
done this a lot,
spin
and
again.
it's really
Okay, you tell me where I want to be.
mixed, hold this.
Yeah, the key to this here is holding this tight.
Okay.
So that way you don't get it wound up over
I'm
here.
going to just make a little
And now you're about
twist,
done. So keep your fingers
and then I
pinched.
can thread it through this little tiny
Turn
hole.
around, and then now
You can
you're
use
gonna
all
roll it
sorts of
around here
different
to
holes. The size
to
of
where
the
you're
hole
at
is
here,
gonna
about
determine the size of
about
the
right here,
rope.
because you're gonna hook it in there.
So this part
Wrap
right
around.
there.
Yep. Now go again.
Oh, that's then your wool. It's a particular piece.
Oh, okay.
You can go all the way across.
All right, thanks.
There.
And just
Lisa,
about this
look
far.
at Lisa. She's making yarn.
Yay! I'm making yarn.
And this will do the same thing. I'll kind of draft some of it out a little bit more. And then I make these into
Now this piece that's really thick right here.
I'd move my hand back down here and try to thin back out if you wanted to.
Kind of drafted.
That's crazy how it just works like that.
Having trouble with this.
Like it was made to do it.
For real, it's weird how it just does that. It's pretty cool actually.
Anyway, so, I mean,
How it breaks?
How it
does it?
how it breaks, but also how it kind of clings to
I know,
itself.
I remember that. Okay.
it's just trying to be.
She had to show me. I was like,
We can do it, Pat. I know we can. I'm not giving up.
I got a chunk. Never bring it higher than here.
I got several chunks.
Otherwise, you can
Beautiful. Your wrist hurting, hon? Yeah.
No, my God.
Yeah. Carpal tunnel and
we got a bunch of cars in the way, babe.
Everybody got their tickets?
okay.
Tickets!
Yes.
They're kind of not really.
Okay, I've got it.
You got a hat? You want to put it in the hat? Oh, yeah. Okay.
All right.
Which one of y'all gave me that 20 earlier?
Mine at the bottom.
All right. We have 647 6714.
Oh, I'm 1, 2.
I'm
3.
Not me.
714.
Is that you?
Hey, come on down.
Must be nice.
No, actually, I will let you keep your spindle. I'll take this one out.
Perfect. Congratulations.
All right.
So here's the next thing. How do you
Oh, no, it's on your heel.
that one works?
No, we're past the time frame. We're doing natural treatment, so.
Past the 3 months.
He's determined. All right,
She's
so
been,
Jacob, please.
been having a
Jacob
rough
is going to relax.
What was your deal on
What this is?
freestanding again?
This is Jacob.
Yeah, oh yeah,
For
it was,
him.
yeah. It was
PAW
pretty significant.
lowercase.
But it's a dye.
Is it number 4?
Yeah.
And then a capital H-I-M.
Yeah.
Nice to
Well,
spin.
she,
And then this
Him
one
being
is
Jesus.
all the
Amen.
I write praise and worship, so it's called praise and worship. So they removed the gallbladder. They didn't see anything because they weren't looking beyond
I
that.
actually had vanity. If you look on my cargo trailer, I still got my vanity
but I
plates
guess
that
around where we live, they don't
that have that.
Lendrum. It's made out of Canada. This is an Ashford made out of New Zealand. What am I going to spin? Will you pass me a roll egg or two?
Sure thing, hon. One of these?
Sure, give me a couple. There you go. And I'm a barefoot spinner.
I like it. Tamara, what kind of spinner is this? This is your favorite spinner, right? This is your
This
baby.
is a Lendrum. It's made out of Canada. And it's a travel one, so it's going to fold up for me.
Okay.
And that's an Ashford traditional wheel, and they're out of New Zealand.
But this is by far your favorite.
It's a double treadle. It's but yeah, I have a homemade one at home from a guy in Texas named Bill Wyatt. It's one of my favorites too.
Roger, we're wrapping up now.
Yeah.
Oh, that is so soothing. I bet we could do a video just on you pedaling that and watching that wheel
Right? Just go
articulate.
around.
And just like do that for hours and just have a video of just you working.
It's my drug of choice.
I love it.
Why are you not twins? Oh, because you're. Yes, there's a tension thing on here. And either I've wound it on right or I've wound it on backwards. You are in my way. That's my problem. You are in my way. There we go. All right. So this is called long draw, as opposed to what we were kind of doing there. Short draw is like this, and you don't. And this is a more smooth yarn, where the long draw is more of a rounded, fluffy.
Yes. Wow,
And then
that is
just
amazing.
depending on what you're going to do, it has different gears on it, if you will. And just depending on what you want, changes my ratio for spinning. And then just as my fingers kind of always go to the same size yarn, but you can do thick yarn just by how much you draft out. Will make a thicker yarn. Go ahead. And then you can ply it together, you know. You can do 2 plies, you can do 3 plies. I'm kind of a 3-ply girl. It gives you a more rounded yarn when you're finished. 2 plies is kind of more oblong. So I will fill 3 bobbins, and then I have a great big head, this part here, that you can change out. And then I can ply all 3 bobbins onto 1 bobbin, and I don't have a bunch of broken ends. Yeah, so this one I have 3 different flyers. This is the regular. I have the great big plying one, and then I have a lace one where my ratios are a whole lot smaller so I can get really thin and my twist stays up with my drafting speed.
So the speed that you're treadling, that's about average, I'm guessing, and it's really depending on how fast you can hook it up and feed it, right?
It is. I mean, there's a tension on here. This goes across here. That tension's how much this is allowed to spin, so it winds on. My spinning is also like controlled by how fast I do my feet, in conjunction with what my ratio is. And then, I mean, if you want to get real technical, like when we do our master spinners, like they look at how many twists per inch you do so that you can replicate the yarn that you're doing.
Yep. That's so soothing.
It is. I said it's the drug of choice. I'll sit and watch TV and do this. So I usually will do a whole bunch of row legs at once so then I can just sit and spin all at once.
So how many of those, I guess you would call that a spool, is that what you're calling that down there, hon?
Bobbin?
Bobbin, so that down there, the top you're starting with.
This stuff?
Yes.
It's a row leg.
Okay, so how many of those does it take to fill up a bobbin?
That depends on how thin or thick you spin your yarn. The thicker the yarn, the faster it'll fill up. So it just kind of depends on what your result will be. Yeah. So I don't know, when I come to the end and the bobbin's full, then it's time to get a new bobbin.
Gotcha.
And this thing here, you can just pinch and move around, and now it's going to fill up the next space on your bobbin.
Gotcha, so you manually are going to move that around so you can fill it up as you go across.
Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
I see him, yep, he's doing his job. Wow, how cool is that?
Yeah. Now this one here, that you can just pinch and move, is different than this one. This one has hooks, that you'll move it from one hook to the next. And that's a single treadle spinning wheel. This is a double treading. It's a little bit more soothing to me because you're using both legs. And the perk is you get equal bilateral nice calf muscles. This one here, you only get a nice right calf muscle.
Unless you just manually switch feet?
No, it doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is what we do.
This is way cool.
Isn't this cool?
Yes.
Yeah.
And this was Tamara Lasley with Tamara Spinning.
Yeah.
Spinning by Tamara.
Spinning by Tamara. Yeah. When I knit, I'm Incredible Knittable. That's my email.
Say that again, you want to tell us?
Oh, I'm Incredible at gmail.com.
Incredible Knittables
Yep.
at gmail.com. If you
Yep.
want to find her on Facebook, you can shoot her an email or shoot her a friend request to Tamara Lasley with
Yep.
Incredible Spinnables at gmail.com.
I could be Incredible Spinnables. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Hannah.
You're welcome. Okay.